service when we run into that too.
Oh, yeah.
Which one are we going to do?
We're going to do good today.
Okay.
In fact, totally unexpected. Absolutely had no idea they even had customer service at this place. Because there's so many times you walk into... Now, see, now it's going to be hard for me to say it. And so many times you walk into Lowe's, and you don't have any idea what kind of widget and gadget and whatnot that you're looking for.
That's
you know what
me
I'm saying?
every single time.
Every time you walk in. And you're walking around trying to find somebody that seems to know a little bit, you know, and as you look for them, they see you looking, and they start sliding out of those jackets. And they try to look like they're just customers, too. So
I've never experienced
So you
that.
go over and you hit the help button, and then this lady starts yelling all over the store, "We need help and paint. Boy needs help and paint." And you hang around for a little while, and then you push the button again. Hey, somebody go help that boy in paint. And you know, you just wait a while.
What
sometimes.
Lowe's are you going to?
Well, I'm just saying, probably exaggerating a little bit, but for the effect of the story. But yeah, we walked in on Sunday. My wife had decided we needed to get some stone, some rock, to do a spot in the yard. And as much as I was looking forward to that, I said, "Well, let's just go get it done. They're going to give me an injection in my spine tomorrow to kill the pain. So let's go ahead and make it worse today because I'd rather cure it tomorrow."
Right.
So we go over, and I'm not looking forward to hauling all those big old bags of rocks off the shelf and putting them in the little dolly, and then having to put them in the car, and then having to take them out of the car and then move them. I was not looking forward to this, but you know what? It needed to be done, and it made her happy. So my back was fine as far as she knew. No complaints on Sunday, so we went to get it done. Walked in, went back. And we were standing there just getting started trying to decide whether those big rocks or those little rocks or the pebbles were going to be the ones that we needed because it's an area where the dog walks and we didn't want to make her feet uncomfortable. And this nice young fellow walks up. Kind of looked like a nice young fellow that was in here the other day that looked like that other nice young fellow on TV.
Nice young fella.
And he said, can I help you guys? And I said, "Oh, we're just looking." And he said, "What are you looking for?" And I said, "Well, we're trying to decide about these rocks." And then he came right over and he said, "Well, what are they for?" And my wife said, "Oh, it's for this." And the dog's going to be. And he said, "Well, you don't want those because they got some edges on them, and those are probably a little rough for the the pads on the feet. So I would go with those if that works for you." And we said, "You know what? That's exactly what we'll do." And I started to go over, and he said, "Well, I'll get that for you. Hang on a minute."
Did he work there?
Yeah. Didn't take his jacket off or anything.
Okay.
And I said, "Well, that would be nice, thank you," because at that moment I just felt like I wanted to kiss him on the mouth, you know. So he starts picking them up, and he looked at my wife, said, "How many bags would you like?" And she goes, 10. "No, make it 15. And I, at that moment, really wanted to kiss him on the mouth.
Right.
So he loads them all up, and he's talking to us the whole time, and he finishes loading, and I reach over to get the thing to pull the buggy, and he goes, "No, you go ahead to the front, and I'll meet you up there. I'll pull it up there for you."
Man.
And I said, "Well, that's great, man. Thank you." And we went and grabbed some trash bags and met him, and there he was waiting on us. And
did he load them in your car?
Well, I started to pay, and he said, "Hang on." He said, "I'll," and he showed her, got all the codes up, and we had a shovel or two and stuff, and he was making all that done. And I thanked him, and he said, "Well, if you'll bring your car out front here, I'll load it up for you." I said, "Well, okay." So I went and got the car and brought it out, and here he comes, pulling that thing out there. And we said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get some plastic and put it in the back so we don't get all this water and mud and stuff on your car." I said, "Well, I would never have thought of that." And here he comes back with plastic and lays it all out, and then he starts loading the bags. All 15 of them, and my car is going down and going down, and my back is just fine at this. I really just wanted to kiss him on the mouth. And I told him at that point, I said, "I don't know how you decided to help me today, but I said, you don't know what you've done for my back today." I said, "You probably have saved me from not being able to walk for a week." And he said, "Oh, it's no problem. It's my job. Glad to do it." And he said, "What happened to your back?" And he started telling me about this is just a young fella.
Wow.
And as nice as he could be. And
awesome.
Loaded it up and said, "I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day."
I'm surprised you didn't give him a little extra money and let him come over to the house.
I don't think that's legal. I don't think they let them do that. But I did go back later and give him the keys to a car. I gave him a car.
Did you start the adoption process?
Yeah, and he's moving in with us the 1st of March. But I it's just one of those moments when you go, you know what? That was absolutely out of the ordinary, unexpected, incredible service. And he changed my mind completely about doing business with that.
And that's why, you notice that because it is out of the ordinary. You don't get that kind of customer service anywhere. Very rarely do you get that kind of customer service. And
I wish I had gotten his name. I thought about it on the way home. I said, now I don't know who to call the manager and say this. This fellow did a great job.
Right.
So I just called the manager and said, look, there's a little fella out there in the garden department that just saved my back, and I want you to know about it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to thank him for, if he's out there or somebody knows him, tall fella with spiky hair.
Job well done.
Young guy. It was just
Mount Pleasant Lowe's?
Mount Pleasant Lowe's. Just one of the nicest. I mean, he saved my world this week.
Good for him.
And I just wanted to pass that on.
Gary's going to be when he works at Lowe's.
You think?
Yeah.
Sure. I'll tote that stuff for you.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Gary had toted that first bag, and he'd never stood up straight again.
Shoot.
That's been the end of
I
that.
did the same thing you were talking about when David was doing that backyard.
And Gary was carrying all the rocks. It was incredible. It was just incredible.
I'm still paying for it.